We made it to the 100-year celebration of Caterpillar in Elkader, Iowa. We're gonna show you guys around, show you all the tractors that are here. Since we did restore our 1925 Holt T35, this is a cool little thing to come to and take a look at and see the history of Caterpillar. So let's go ahead in and take a look at some tractors. Alright, so we're going to start off at the front with a Holt 5-ton. We're just kind of do a quick little walk around and move on to each one, since there's going to be probably over 100 tractors here. A little step up from ours, a little bit bigger. Got a military dozer here. We've got a few of them here lined up to the end at the beginning. Pretty neat. Another military dozer with cable blade. Tracks are in very nice shape. Got another looks like a D8 or a D6 in army green. Okay, it's a D7. Heister D7N winch.
Yeah, there's a lot of them floating around.
Another military. Look at how rod some of them hoses are. Those are about ready to blow. We'll just keep walking down because we're getting multiples now.
They were all leading across about 9 o'clock.
I got to show that deep. Went up a hill like this.
Coming up on our first grader here. Another military grader here. Not quite sure on the model. Pretty neat. These are the tags I like to see. Army Corps of Engineers. Got a row of articulated dump trucks here. Couple scrapers, 621B, ED39, D550 truck, 745C. We got another scraper here that was painted army green. Another D3500 series truck. But let's get up to the crawlers. Caterpillar 30. Handles broke off. Dipstick's missing. Looks like a car gas tank on it. Got ourselves a nice lineup of scrapers here from JJ Shekel. 627, 637G, and then a 657 newer one. And then we got the older scrapers here all the way down the line. So this is actually at the Mobile Track Solutions factory, and we're gonna walk over here, just give you a brief look. But they create all different types of earth moving equipment to make scraping faster. There's a custom D9 with a 33-38 pan behind it, 745s and such. All right, got a D6 next gen compared to a 60. The same, no longer cat yellow, but Centennial gray. They only made a few of these things, and they're pretty neat that they kind of match up with this old Centennial gray color. Right here we got the D1 all the way up to the D10, all in a row. Kind of cool. Look at this nice shot of Caterpillar tractors here. We'll run down the line. 10, 15, 30, another 30. 35. These ones are hard to find. 40, 20, 20, three 20s in a row. 50. 50s are extremely hard to find. This one seems to be in good shape. 22. Here's a D4. Here's an R5. This came before the D5. Here's an Orchard 22 with all the paneling. Pretty rare to see that. Here's another 22. I kind of like how they put in CAD oil filters on the mufflers. I'm gonna have to do that now. Another R5 wide gauge. Here's a 22 with a cab on it. I kind of like that cab. Made out of nice wood. Pretty neat. Here's a 25. 25s are extremely hard to find. Another cat filter on the top. Here's a 28. 22. Here's a 30. Newer 30. Right there is a 60. Here's another one. Here's a 35 diesel. Look at the size of that injection pump. Massive. Here's an RD4. RD6. RD7. RD8. RD6 all the way up to RD8. Look at the size difference. I mean, this gives you an example how tall this thing is. Got another RD7. Here's a diesel 50. Said, look at the size of them injection pumps though. Massive. Another RD7 with a blade.
I don't think it matters.
This one doesn't look like it's ran in a while. RD6. Got another RD4 here, but yeah, you guys can kind of see pretty massive place here at the MTS factory to have this Caterpillar show, and this is very impressive. So we're just getting started with the stuff outside. Scraper. There's an RD8. There's a D8. My grandpa ran one of them things back in the day with cables on it. That one's what it's set up for as well. There's a D8 back there as well. Here's a D7. Looks like another D8. Yep. This one definitely hadn't ran in a while. As you can see, the fuel tower is rusted through. RD6. And then another I think this is a diesel 35, yeah. Diesel 40, I was close. Got another Centennial gray dozer over there. Electric drive. Crazy how far we've come. We got a whole 10-ton sitting here that's probably over 110 years old. And then we got one Cat D6 electric drive that's probably not even a year old. Let's take a look at this 10-ton. And I can tell you one thing is this is definitely a non-runner, but could be a very neat restoration if they wanted to. All the pieces are there, but look at the size of them jugs. Fortunately, they're wide open to the elements, but nonetheless, it's very neat just to see this stuff out and about so I can record it. Very, very cool, guys. Let's go ahead and make our way down that way. Here's a Holt 10-ton, another one, similar engine disrepair, open to the elements. That one's got a couple mean welds on the cylinder heads. Very, very cool tractor, though you don't see them anymore. Holt, very cool. There's a Caterpillar logo on the side. Let's take a look at some of these pipe layers, track loaders real quick. Then we'll make our way inside and take a look and see what we got going on inside. So this is a Caterpillar D2 with the traction conversion on it to make it a loader. Pretty cool. D6 with the conversion on it. D4 with a conversion on it. Look at this thing. Little 933. 983B. That's a big old boy. Massive. Here's a 30 pipe layer. Kind of neat to see these. D5 pipe layer, R5 pipe layer. These are pretty hard to find as well, being it's an R5. All right, let's go ahead and make our way inside. All right, here's some of the nice painted up ones. 35. Here's a really nice 35 diesel. All the highlights on it have been touched. This thing looks immaculate. Look at all the accents on it. Very neat. All right, in here we got a Best 60. This would have been before the Caterpillar 60, since Best and Holt merged. See, it's got thermoid link clutches on it. There's the tag. Very neat. See, instead of Caterpillar, it says Best. Best Tractor Company, 60 horsepower. This is a big old boy. Start this thing with a bar. This would be a tractor I would like to find one day and have, but you're looking upwards of 60 grand for one of these things. Got a D8T with undercarriage work going on in here. Final drive is off of it, so looks like we got a Caterpillar, I'm gonna say D8, RD8. That was close. Pony motor start. This one's in pretty good shape. Kind of like this tag on the back. Retired Iron, Walworth, Wisconsin. Bob and Lisa. Oh, I think I might know where this guy is. Right next to where the guy we bought our Oliver Cleat track from. Huh. This is very cool. Got a freshly painted D10T in here. Looks like it must have gotten a CAT certified rebuild. Wow, it does look nice. Alright, here's a tractor I'd like to find. This is a CAT 10. Saw a couple of them outside, but this is the correct color of these things. They are supposed to be gray. Anything after 1931, then they're supposed to be yellow. But yeah, pretty little cute little tractor. Something I would like to have around as well with my 2-ton. This one's got PTO on the back as well. I always like these big brass tags as well. Look at that. Looks like we got a 112 here with a single axle on the back. Here's another 112 with 2 axles on the back, all painted up. Looks very nice. Like I said, my grandpa and my dad had a 12 back in the day, so this is a little bit different, a little bit newer. Very neat though, especially having the lights on the back. We got another one. This is an Auto Patrol number 9. And then we got a, I believe it's another 12, possibly a 112. Nope, this is just another Auto Patrol. So this one's got that 3-cylinder diesel, almost similar RD6 engine in it. Pretty neat. You don't see a lot of these anywhere. Got a nice Holt, I don't know, 75 maybe. Very neat though. This is the one, some of the earlier ones ever. Got a little worm gear going here. Buzz box fire. That's when you know it's old. Oh no, that's not a buzz box. That's the oiler. What am I thinking? Magneto would have went there. The size of that belt. Flywheel. And then each thing here, each gear here is your steering clutches. So you got your left and your right. Looks like chains for the driver disconnected. There would have been a big chain here down to each gear, but still very neat. Here's a stationary engine of that same sort. Big engine. Very cool. And then right here is a C15 or a C18. I think, yeah, it's a C15. Oh no, C18. And I did just completely rebuild one of these at work, so cool to see this around here. Kicking around. International truck, and then a really nice cat scraper in here that looks like it's been completely restored. Very nice shape. I'm trying to figure out. Here's the D10R backside. We saw the front from D1 up, now we see D10 down. Very cool. We got some of the cat Challengers. Couple of the wheeled ones, which you never see, which are kind of cool. A D6 wheeled. We're coming over here because we got some interesting Caterpillar tractors over here. So right here we got a combine. You can see, look at the engine on the front of this thing. Very cool.
And before you could take, always before you could take something.
Here's a 40 with a Colt combine. Looks like it's got a repowered engine on it. Still kind of cool. I don't even know what model of engine this is. It's a little flathead 4. You can just barely see the Wisconsin. That's what I thought. Very neat. These are really hard to find in good condition anymore, considering this thing is all together is very, very cool. All right, we got a couple more tractors that are out in this outside area, and then we're gonna make our way to the actual museum here shortly. Here's a Caterpillar 20 set up with a Wowsow U snowplow. The cab. These would have been extremely useful back when these things came out in the snow. There's the tags, all the exhibitors. But this is the coolest thing. Sold by Drott. Drott ended up becoming Case. They actually sold Caterpillar one time, so that's kind of cool. Here's the inside. Very neat. Here's a 35. Same setup. This one's got side wings on it. It would have came out with cables. Here's another one. This I believe is it's a gasser. It's a 40 with another V plow on it. Very cool. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that these probably don't run. Considering that other side was cracked right in the manifold, but you never know. Pretty cool seeing these things like this. Here's a bigger one. Sold. The RD7 with a cab. It's like this is their little snowplow section, obviously. Look at the size of that hydraulic cylinder. Got a little valve inside. Looks like that little ball right there is cracked in that trunnion. Just look at this contraption for a snowplow, very cool. There's the original decal on the back, Caterpillar Tractor Company. Very neat. And here's a 60. This one was in an auction in Iowa, I think. I saw it and was keeping an eye on it, but it went for a lot of money and made its way here, so you can kind of see why. Very, very neat unit, and supposedly this one ran. There's the big clutch on it. Get a front view of it. Here's a 40. Here's a 5-ton. This is a really old one. Judging by the tracks and the side curtains and how there's nothing on the front, this is an older 5-ton with a cab too. Very neat. Grader. And then we got a little 20 here. In disrepair, but still cool. Like I said, just to see the history and some of these things, see what these things have lived through, like, just makes you wonder how this crack occurred or where it occurred. That's always one thing I like to think of, where these tractors were, who owned them, and what happened with them. And this one looks like it's been used and abused. Look at that, cracked right off the radiator hose. Nonetheless, a side seat 20. Very, very cool. A couple graders back here, nothing too special, so we're gonna make our way to the museum, which is half a mile up the road. Take a look at some of the nicely restored tractors up there. But you can just see, look at the landscape. Nothing but yellow and gray and a little green iron. It's pretty cool working for Altorfer Cat and being able to come here and see that Altorfer is supporting it as well. You can see on that excavator it says Altorfer on that one. So pretty neat. Here's a Caterpillar 60. I forgot 2 tractors before we take off. And it's work clothes, unpainted, very nice shape. And then another 60 with a really cool grader behind it, painted to match. Like I said, the stories are there. Well, this is the best 60, but you got Grouser bar weld-ons.
I'll get out of your picture.
Oh, you're all right. Pretty cool best 60. One final look. Got a little work area going on. Cat 60 running right now. You can hear it. It's got that nice distinguished sound. It's pulling a little scraper. There's their 666 and their 660 that they completely restored over there. So very neat little area. All right, here we go. All right, guys, here we are. Elkader, Iowa, the museum, the Earthmoving Legacy Center, Caterpillar's 100-year anniversary. We got a few tractors on the outside. Let's take a look. We just got done at the actual demonstration area, so we got some stuff here as well. But this is a 60. Looks like another couple 60s here. That one's fuel tank is... I don't think it'll hold gas, that's for sure. And that one's missing. Another 60 over here. Pretty nice little 60. Looks like they got 2 more over here. Same 60s. This one here is missing a lot of stuff on it, but just sitting out here, it looks very, very cool. Let's go ahead and head inside and see what this show's about. Holt versus Best. Pretty neat. The M&M machine is a Holt 60. Coming around the back, we got a Best 25. Got a T20, a T35. This is a little older than what we have. We have a T35 as well, but ours is just a little newer and at the transition year. This one's a Holt 75, so a little bigger than the M&M over there that they have on it. Little information. 1916. Little stationary engine over here. Always like these brass carburetors and just like the oil feeders. Very, very cool. Here's a Holt 75, another one. Saw a few of these, or we saw one that wasn't as near as in good shape as this one at the demonstration area. There's a little stationary engine. Good big belt pulley on the back. Here's a Holt 45. Look at the size of that hand crank. You need a giant to crank this thing over. But actually, they're not too bad. There's the tag. Let's make our way this way. Looks like we're going to be getting into some military tractors here to start out. Over here, looks like we got a Holt 5-ton military. So this is a step up from our 2-ton, 5-ton. And all they did was encase the whole entire engine with armor. These are made for World War I. You can see it says USA on it. Just very neat, just the certain things on these World War I era tractors. Got a big pintle hitch on the back, tow hooks, just, you know, boxes and stuff all over the place. Got your lantern, very cool. And then a step up is the 10-ton armored edition, and it's actually got bullet holes in the side of it. You can see here, that gives it very good character. You can see the radiator covered up by the armor, because a bullet on this wouldn't have been good on the radiator. Coming around, we got the big cast iron manifolds that say Caterpillar on it. There's the actual valves, rocker arms. Big seat. There's the crank to start it. You got 1 gauge, and looks like it's oil pressure. Big stack. Here's another Holt. I think it's a 75 or a 125. I know this one came from, I think it was the United Kingdom. This was in an auction down there and they brought it back. This is a big tractor though. You can see how tall it is. Big flywheel, start it with a bar, big brass carburetor. This one runs. Pretty much everything in here I believe runs. Big Caterpillar decal. Like I said before, these are your steering clutches. And there's the seat. Big ass steering wheel. This almost looks like the same seat I got on my 2-ton. Let's keep moving on. Over here we got ourselves a Best 40. I know that these are super rare. This was in an auction and we clearly know who bought it. Got a Best 60. We saw a few of these at the demonstration area, but nothing near as mint shape as some of these ones are. I mean, right down to the track guards and the roller frame guards and the belt pulley. You know, this one here is just immaculate. And then when I say immaculate, this one here is just a step up from immaculate. I mean, everything has just been highlighted with brass. Decompression levers, crankcase cover valves, the sides. I mean, look at the wood that they did for that. That looks great. Handles. And then you get to the back, oilers, belt pulley, brand new, PTO shaft. You can just see the reflection on it. Look at that. You can see my face. Very, very nice. Very, very nice Best 60 here. 2 Best 60s. We got a Best 30 right here with a cab. This one is in immaculate shape as well. We got a Best 30 right here as well. This one here is just a typical 30 as opposed to that one's a cold weather 30. Just the highlights on this thing make it good. It look nice. Here's another T35. A little older than what we got, but very similar. The only differences are the Holt is carved out and the radiator is embossed. Same seat, little bit different of an airbox, but very neat. Very, very similar to what we have though. We got a 5-ton, step up from the 2-ton. Big old clunker. They didn't make a whole lot of these, and it looks like they sprayed linseed oil all over it to preserve its patina. Pretty nice looking. 10-ton. Big tractor. Pretty neat. Pulling a big scraper, a land leveler. We're gonna just start walking through these tractors now because there's so many like last time, but we give you what it is while we're walking. We got a 15, really nice 60, another 15. There's a 2-ton. This is after the T35. Here's another 2-ton wide gauge. Here's just something that I'm looking for, is this airbox. I don't have that on mine. And both of these do, which is very neat to see. Got a 30, 20. The 20 was one of the first tractors that Caterpillar actually made themselves, as opposed to Best Hope. Another 20, 30. Here's a Russell Road Grader, the 20 tractor on it. It says Illinois, USA. Auto Patrol 9, little 10. Two more 60s. That one's a cold weather 60 with the radiator differences and the cab. Here's a regular 60. Not sure what that is on the top of the radiator cap. Here's a 10. Here's a 10 high crop, super rare tractor. Here's a 22 high crop, super rare. Cat 60 pipe layer. I don't think they made hardly any of these, but these are pretty cool. Here's a 28 high crop and a 22 orchard. Auto Patrol 7, 10. Not sure what this one is. Diesel 60, the conversion on it. Here's a 65 gas. Here's another 60 diesel. 70 diesel. Oh, 70 gas. That's the 70 diesel. Here's a 12. Diesel 75. D8. This looks like something my grandpa ran back in the day almost. Very cool. Here's a D5. Military D5. There's 40.
That's called the 77 years.
Here's another 12.
Back in the day, it was prolific. It was just like, you see photographs of things that they tried.
Here's an RD6. R2. R3. And an R4. Bunch of D2s in here with different additions on them, blades. There's a D4. All these are D4s. Look at that one down there with the spark arrestor on the top of it. Here's a D2 with side curtains. You'll never see that. D4. RD4. Root rake. Pipe layer. Here's a military D4, all patinaed up. It looks very nice. Just a little bit of a scraper on the back. Here's a D4. Not sure what this is. This could be a 933. It looks like an early 955. There's one more tractor in particular to look at now. All right, here's the T35 that's similar to what we have. 71073. Ours is 71081, so this is 8 before ours was made. The highlights of it. This was actually Altorfer's tractor. Pretty neat. Shot of everything. Very, very cool place. Would recommend coming here. 10 out of 10. All right, everybody. Well, I think it's time to head back to the shop. Head back to home base. Get back to work. I do hope you guys enjoy this video. I know I enjoyed coming to the Earthmoving Legacy Center in Elkader, Iowa. Got to catch up with some people and it was all good, but I think the main thing was seeing everything here, and really eye-opening to see a lot of the cat models that were really, really hard to find, and some that I'll probably never see again. And it also gave me some good eye-opening tips on the stuff I need to find and stuff I need to do actually on my 2-ton. So I think we're gonna call it an episode. So we're standing here by an old Cat 30, and I think we'll catch you guys next time at 3 Generations Restoration. So see you guys later and catch you guys next time.